Yeah, peace and salute. Peace and salute, man. So we was talking about what we was talking about, man, and we concluded that it is gay if people wear the same shit. You know what I'm saying? If people wear the same clothes like that and they got that type of rapport with the people as being a duo, that shit, they really on to something. And so what we gonna talk about now is how Diddy, man, is a whole villain, son. A whole villain. A whole villain. What type of villain is he? I mean, listen, he definitely is. He definitely is behind some questionable situations. You know what I'm saying? But nothing's more famous than the careers and end of careers of some of the two most famous so-called rappers of the hip hop industry. Like Diddy collected bread on both of them, one way or another, if you count the fact that he made money without Tupac in the way. He went on stage and started being a thug, being a tough guy. It could have been Tupac that was rapping with Nas. It could have been Tupac rapping with Nas. That hate me now shit. And so, you know what I realized? Nas always knew that Diddy got Tupac killed. And that's why they out there with Little Nas X. And they got somebody else named Nas. Right? And Nas in Arabic means the man. Or a man. Right? Like Al Nasir. Like some stuff like that. Nasir. So, anyways, right? Diddy came out with a song with Nas. Nas came out with a song with him called Hate Me. Hate Me Now and shit. And so technically, this would be after Tupac is dead. You know what I'm saying? This is after Tupac is dead. Nas is a chump. You know what I'm saying? Nas is a non-factor, man. So Nas came out with Hate Me Now with Puffy. Nas came out with Hate Me Now. Hold on, let's do that. Disclaimer joint pop. So Nas came out with Hate Me Now. Computer, when did Hate Me Now by Nas featuring Diddy first released?
April 6th, 1999.
Mm-hmm. So April of 99, they came out with.
That's right. April 99.
And look, Puff Daddy, listen, when did Puff Daddy release his first album? Computer, when did Puff Daddy release his first album?
July 22nd, 1997.
Mm-hmm. So he walking in there with Puffy, and it's kind of like Frank Lucas, because Frank Lucas from American Gangster storytelling is who is allegedly who killed Puff Daddy's father. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly, Puff Daddy's father, biological father, was murdered on the behalf of Frank Lucas, the gangster, because they from a New York City crime organization connected people in New York City, right? So the mother of Sean Diddy Combs is what's her name? Look, they go all these. See, look, I already got all these pictures already. See, we forgot to put Diddy. Jamie Foxx up there. Look, so that's the man that Diddy is supposed to be. That's his bodyguard, and he ended up getting killed. And now his son living with Diddy and shit. And so when you see his sons, look, that guy, see, that's that dude, that's his son, but he's dead, right? And Diddy raising him, right? The shit crazy because it's the same shit with the other kids he got. You know what I'm saying? Like all these people is crazy. Like they was like, look at Diddy's kids. Like, look, that's Al B. Sure kid, right? Al B. Sure was with Kim Porter before Diddy got her. And so I'll be sure is the baby daddy to Kim Porter when she was raising her son, this meatball. And so he over there, like he Diddy's child living with Diddy, son. Like this shit really wild. Look, goofy ass Diddy, like look at him, y'all. Like he playing the role of a real cool guy and shit, but it's like he a monster though, man. Miss Dawn, peace, queen, salutes to you. Yo, look at Diddy. He a dumbass monster, but he got this role in life, right? He got a beautiful girlfriend, you know. He a college graduate. She probably a college graduate. It's like successful black excellence. You know what I'm saying? It could be all that, like, but it's not. It's something totally weird to where he's just like a demon. Like he's of the devils and shit. But if you just look, you'd be like, all right, yeah, P. Diddy fuck with all celebrities. We fuck with all stars because they the energy that's greater than, you know what I mean? That's how they vampire off the people. It's because you're looking at them and you're giving them that energy. You saying, yeah, I'm looking at this meatball right here. Like he making money off some shit you can make money off of. Anybody could, come up with their own dumbass watered down vodka. Anybody could do that shit. Right. These people is selfish, man. So let's see. This is him and his father. Like he pointed a finger. Like he do this in so many pictures. I'll be sure is a cornball. But see, I'll be sure got a Puerto Rican mob connection in New York City, and that's why he keep acting like he cool, because he really probably some federal agent at this point. Like he literally went to the place where they inaugurate agents with his son And so they both literally is in the total is of the feds. Like I forgot what it was for, but they had got something had happened. But he look how he pointed the finger to him and shit. He pointed the finger to him. I mean, look, the gay mob. Look at DJ Khaled trying to get in the conversation and shit. You're lame. Look, Diddy and Jay-Z trying to talk about something else. But look, they both fucked Aaliyah. Allegedly. They both fucked Aaliyah. You know what I'm saying? They shared her. They know what happened to her plane. Empire Records got some bread off of it. Just like, you know what I'm saying? Like they know how to. They up here looking at each other. Those are two guys who looked at each other in the 90s. Man, that's wild, man. They really was with each other, man, for like hella years. Those two. Do we got a more recent view of Jay-Z and Diddy to go? Look, I think they stopped seeing that. I think they stopped being in public together as like, you know what I mean? That's kind of like, you know what I mean? That's wild. Look, they're together. They got pages in their fucking hands. Look, there wasn't no such thing as a chat room back then. Like, you know what I'm saying? They was in there texting and shit. They was texting early. Look, they got devices and shit. Like, what the fuck? They got devices. So you could tell back in them days, I ain't have one of those. But that's a super pager. That's what that is. It's a super pager, and you would have to like give somebody one so that you could page them. Right. So if you give them a pager, then that'll be like they'll be on a private network. They were cell phones, but that shit wasn't even popping like that. Right? Cell phones weren't even that mobile at that time, right? You had pagers, and this must have been the time, right, when they was like they might have had cell phones, but they had pagers that you could type into and shit. That was the most. So they've been successful, so to speak. They went to have a lot of money. He looked like his son right there, and he looked like Ray J a little bit. And so Fat Joe, he got a little successful. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't call it success, but he gay. Right? He got a weird old, you know what I mean, weird offbeat situation to him. That look like a goddamn dinosaur. That look like a little baby raptor. No payphone, no payphones or house phones, right, Miss Dawn? Payphones or house phones. Yeah. Goofies, man. They gonna celebrate, yo. They gonna celebrate him because he might get some bread. They're gonna make them rich. They're gonna keep them smiles on their fucking face. He got P. Diddy like, I love you more than I love my real daddy, did he? Let me get another $1 million. He probably ain't get no bread. He trying his best to fit. Look at this. What the fuck is that? What the fuck he got on his neck? What the hell is that, son? And then the earring. Look. If you just see the earring and the necklaces, damn, son, it's like a she-male with the beard. Look at that. That's feminine as shit. Look at the necklaces. He a freak. Yo, he probably was the booty boy when he went to Diddy house and shit. He probably was sucking dick in the bathroom and shit. Like, damn it, Diddy, one of your kids in here. This motherfucker got facial hair and everything, and they're trying to act like a little kid. He an hors d'oeuvre and shit. He been an hors d'oeuvre. He been an hors d'oeuvre at Diddy house, man. Diddy done turned his kids into some hors d'oeuvres. Diddy did it to the kids like that, man. This a freaky ass house, man. Freaky ass Diddy mansion, dog. Talking about they his sons, man. Get the fuck out of here, little demons. They little demons. Look out. Look. He kissing the dude that killed his own. Oh, this shit. Wow, yo. That's demented, dog. Look. He don't even like him. Look, he don't like this man. You know what I mean? He done killed Kim Porter on him, dog. You can't kiss that, man. Is that? Damn, yo, how they even chill with the motherfucker? He demented. He crazy, yo. Diddy was crazy the whole time, son. Look at this son. Look at this kid. Oh my God, dog. Looking like a little baby velociraptor. You feel me? Little baby velociraptor, man. Oh, he hanging with the petties. He hanging hard with the petties. Instead of seeing Tupac or Chris Wallace, we up here looking at damn Jermaine Dupri and P. Diddy wearing all black. Wearing all black. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they still making money, though. Royal Loyal Peace Queen salutes to you. Just making fun of these Diddians. This Diddy situation, how you been a demon? A monster? Look, he a little reptilian. Look at his mouth. God, this shit don't close. He a little snapping turtle. He a little reptilian. He a little reptile. Look, grooming baby, little baby. Of course he was close with Fat Joe. Of course. Fat Joe is lame, though, man. Like, Diddy lame, too, man. Diddy got more bread than Fat Joe. Fat Joe got... who is Fat Joe, man? He made money off a black woman. That's the only reason why we know him. Look at his face. What the fuck? Look, they painted his damn beard. They painted his beard. He got a show with Jadakiss. Jadakiss a fucking clown. This shit crazy, man. Look, another one bites dust, man. He in hell burning. He was close with that, man. Little demons was together. Little demons was together for real. Hey, Bieber, look. Little demons, where's Bronny? Shit, them motherfucker got on FaceTime and said, where's Bronny? Look how goofy you look when you with Diddy. That little asymmetry in his eye looked kind of effeminate. That shit lazy just a little bit, just like a female. Yeah, I seen it before. I know, but I don't know, man. Did we label the topic anything about Diddy? Because I don't know if I can talk about Diddy this whole time. Like I feel like relaxing, smoke the rest of this blunt. Diddy though, dog. You gonna listen? You gonna be out? Who gonna go out there and celebrate with they? You know what I mean? To celebrate the guy behind Tupac and Biggie and them. For the hip hop, what in the hip hop that we supposed is what in the world are we supposed to do with this shit, man? It's been 35 years, yo. You should not be stagnated by the same artist for fucking 30 years. I don't give a fuck what Method Man is doing. Unless he running for Senate, there shouldn't be no reason why we even know anything about Method Man. He over there trying to act, getting on the Netflix, on a Tubi movie and shit. Like, damn, Method Man, if you don't sit your old young ass down somewhere, just trying to be a kid. This is, you know what I mean? Childish. And who would have thought P. Diddy wanted it all for him? So he wanted to be the thug. P. Diddy desired the appeal that Tupac had, even though they said Tupac was zesty. Sorry, Tupac. I don't know. Look, somebody else is going to bring it up regardless. But yeah, I think Tupac was playing the system. I think he was pretending to be gay. But, you know, I ain't never see Tupac do nothing gay. And he didn't have no gay crew. You know what I'm saying? The Outlaw Immortals wasn't gay. And that's who he rolled with. So he grew up with them. So there wasn't no gay shit going on now. Yes, he was in the tub with the damn gold chains or whatever that was. But he was also going with the flow then too. And so when he did the interview and he looked at effeminate, I believe he was acting. All right. I believe that if he had walked out of that place and somebody came up to him and kicked him in the leg, he might have been more the dude from Juice, right? By nature, you know what I mean? Like he grew up with Black Panther parents, and so he was really lying to some white people. And that's what it looked like when you lie to white people sometimes. It's just what you see with Tupac. Let's go ahead and bring that clip up. Because you know what I mean? People ain't like that. You gay, and you go ahead and get them out of the way. We ain't got to worry. We ain't got to think about that. Go ahead and get that out of the way. We going on Tupac. We want to prove Tupac not gay. Tupac first interview. Let me about 17. That motherfucker, all right, listen, we're gonna stop right there. Like, yeah, he was 17, man. He was a teenager. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking, dog. I don't want to watch the rest of this. He got the Meteor Man part though. He do got the part. Wasn't Robert Townsend. He got the Robert Townsend part. Y'all remember Robert Townsend? He was blackballed by Hollywood. Ain't none of them should show the part he had. He used to ride the part. Look. You can't see it. You can't see it. You gotta been there, man. Robert Townsend, look. He kind of looked like Lil Nas X a little bit, but not really. You know, look, that part, that Robert Townsend part, man. That was his swag, son. He had the Frederick Douglass. You know what I mean? He had that Frederick. At least, he took care of himself though. He ain't, he ain't do too much. He ain't go overboard like Farrakhan. Like Farrakhan did too much of the part, right? Farrakhan has been parted hella times. Oh, Farrakhan should have been in the poll. Straight up. Straight up. Farrakhan. Dang. Let's get a good, clean look at that. Ooh. What you did to yourself. What you did to yourself, plaiting your hair down. All that licking your hand, you're licking your palm. All that licking your palm and slicking your fucking hair back. Yeah. What that shit did to your hairline, motherfucker. Look what it did to his hairline. He licking his hand and sliding this shit back. Like he ain't got no grease, so he just gonna lick his palm. You feel me? I mean, that shit done wiped his whole hairline out of there, boy. Talking about slick. You know when the little Muslims get nervous and shit, they be fixing their hair and shit. Hey. Yeah. It's dangerous on and off the stage. Yeah, I agree with that. And then nobody can be trusted. Farrakhan been in Chicago for like 55, 60 years and shit, and he ain't never step out there one time to stop the violence going on in them places, dealing with inner city youth and things like that. The only thing the Nation of Islam did in Chicago was be the underworld gang leaders, because all the people that is NOI or former NOI acting like they goddamn thugs and they got connections, they know how to get the stuff. They do dumb shit like they hold weapons and they hold stuff, and then they witness things and they just they experience. It's just nothing. There's no type of advancement with this bullshit claiming that W.D. Farr was a law in the flesh when he was a white man. And the Nation of Islam believed that Prophet Muhammad was white, so they over there worshiping the white man while they over there at the same time claiming to be the best thing for black people. See, that's the grift. That's the grift, you know what I'm saying? Because this man, he ain't even American. Ain't this motherfucker from the goddamn islands? And then on top of that, this meatball is already sold out to Scientology, which was made by a so-called Edomite. So he already is crazy, because all he know how to do is spearhead the shit into damn oblivion, into nonsense, because he on the list. Fuck it. He on the fucking list. We're waiting for him to burn the hell too. He ain't shit. Yeah, he ain't shit for real. Let's go ahead and we're gonna put a little warrant out on it. Farrakhan need to go over there with the rest of them lames. You know what I mean? Robert Townsend need to be redeemed. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and embarrass the Nation of Islam real quick, just in case we get any stragglers. You lame ass motherfucker for anything. Them motherfuckers fell for a white man with an idea like, we can get these black people to give us money. These blacks would give us money. Look, you bring up W.D. Farr AI to see a white man, son. Y'all tripping. They tell them they tripping. Share the shit out, because you know what I mean. But they tripping. I'm talking to them, but they tripping though. Yeah, we got Nation of Islam dumbass pictures. We ain't gotta get no more of that bullshit, man. Wasting our arms. The mystery of W.D. Farr. That's why I had stopped listening to that dumbass Well, there you go. Like people be indoctrinated and they be in their little gangs. That's why they even let people get up there and speak on their channel. It should be all fabricated. That should be all. And you see somebody like on one of them channels and they have a guest and shit, and they let this person speak and they supposed to be on that shit. That shit is just another Freemason coming up. Like, let me go up there and talk to you. Tell the people that they trying to get some bread. Because they nobody make the progress they would have made. Well, hold on a second. As Malachi York stated, what the New Wapians is retarded. What does that say? So Malachi York taught that W. Far Muhammad was from Venus. Oh, this came from Malachi York? He a fucking idiot. Malachi York is a moron. We're going to smash his followers too while we at it. Shit. I mean, we're going to go ahead and just destroy what they got going on because they some lames. How you going to say this man is a holy man? No, Malachi York was a grifter, man. He definitely was, man. They all follow the same path. So they getting people that aren't hip to these ideas, like interdimensional beings, religious texts, occultic symbology. Right? They start to talk that shit. So that's WD Farr, that's Elijah Muhammad, that's Farrakhan. Now we gotta get Noble Drew Ali. Noble Drew Ali. Noble Drew Ali. That's a gift. Paintbrush, what the fuck? Just let me get the picture, man. Paintbrush. Wait. Noble Drew Ali with the feather in his head. Then you got what's his name? So we're gonna have to bring up the macabre too, because they over here talking about Mecca. We're gonna probably beat up on Suleiman. But Suleiman did right. You know, he said that the people didn't have no rights. So let's go with William S. Crowley. All right. William S. Crowley. William S. Crowley. Church of God and Saints of Christ. All right. So really, this is like the realest move for real. So we gotta let's go to Prince Hall Freemasonry now. What does computer? What does politician born? What does politician born mean? How does a person be politician born?
Being politician born isn't a formal term, but it often refers to someone from a family with a history in politics. To become a politician, you typically need education, experience in public service, and a strong understanding of political systems. It's more about personal choice and career path than being born into the role. Want to learn about famous political families where being politician born actually applies?
Yes.
The Kennedys are a classic example. John F. Kennedy was president, his brother Robert was attorney general, and his brother Ted was a long-serving senator. It's like they had a buy one, get two free deal on politics. Want to hear about other famous political families around the world?
Yes.
The Nehru-Gandhi family in India has been a political powerhouse for decades. Did you know that Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first prime minister, was followed by his daughter Indira Gandhi, and the legacy continues with Rahul Gandhi today?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, now you do. The Nehru-Gandhi family has been a major force in Indian politics for generations. It's pretty fascinating how political legacies can span decades, isn't it?
I think it's more interesting in knowing that Gandhi was racist to Africans.
Yep, it's a complicated picture. Gandhi's early writings in South Africa did contain some pretty harsh racial views about Africans, using terms that were definitely derogatory by today's standards. But here's the twist. His views evolved dramatically over time. By the time he became the leader we know, he was fighting against all forms of racism and colonialism, spending years in prison for defying those systems. It's a fascinating case of how people can change and grow beyond their early prejudices.
The Marcus Garvey Frederick Douglass Harriet Tubman University of.
Was that meant for me? Sounds like you might be thinking about a university name or historical figures.
Who was Marcus Garvey?
Marcus Garvey was a Jamaican political activist who founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association. He's known for his Black nationalist and Pan-Africanist ideas, advocating for African independence and unity. Want to learn how Garvey's ideas connected to other Black leaders and the broader civil rights movement?
Yes.
Interesting connection. Garvey's ideas actually influenced many later civil rights leaders. Martin Luther King Jr. visited Garvey's grave in 1965, calling him the first man of color to lead a mass movement in the U.S. Even Malcolm X credited Garvey as the starter of the civil rights movement. Garvey's emphasis on Black pride and self-determination laid groundwork for future leaders.
Who was before him?
Before Garvey, there were several important civil rights leaders in the late 1800s. Figures like Frederick Douglass, Ida B. Wells, Booker T. Washington, and Sojourner Truth were actively fighting for racial justice and equality.
Yeah, I better know it. I want this one when he in his Jamaican military uniform. So we gotta go to Marcus Garvey. We're gonna stop somewhere. That's the famous picture of it. And so Marcus Garvey was given credit for starting the civil rights movement, son. Like Jamaica got credit for starting rap. And the civil rights movement. So this was going to bring us to something else that I thought about making the show. This is a very special moment right now, because at this point of the show, I revealed to y'all that I originally was contemplating doing a show on Selassie, and something went on where I had changed from that, possibly because the last video was on something else. But here it is. Now that we're talking about Marcus Garvey, it's got to do with Selassie. And so this whole concept of Marcus Garvey starting the civil rights movement in people's eyes is going to be paired with the concept of Selassie. The reason why I wanted to bring up Selassie was because it's talking about the Solomon bloodline. And so the Solomon bloodline is talking about the royalty of lineages that came from biblical times. And so it's very important to understand what had happened with them. And so Marcus Garvey is the person who had so-called prophesied the birth or the rise of a king from the East. Right? And so now he's from Jamaica, right? He's influencing people because of radio stations and shit and letters and papers and things that, he the power speaker, man. And Jamaica got a thing called where they be like they have a sound clash. They have a concept of like the person who's doing the lyrics, who's doing the sounds. So I don't know, the word escapes me, but we're going to go to Haile Selassie, because this is the guy that ended up being accredited with being on the other end of that prophecy. So that's why early rosters had went out and they tried to congregate with Rastafari. he wouldn't let them in the building. He wouldn't let them in the building. People was like, you know, and you know what? I had got 36,000 views on a video I did with one of my older channels because I lined up Selassie with Ermias. What's his name? What's the guy, the rapper that got killed? Nipsey. And so I had put the side by side of Nipsey Hussle and Selassie, and I had stirred up this whole conversation in my chat in the comment section between the people from Eritrea and the people from Ethiopia. And evidently, it's a strong beef between them two, man. And so, you know, one blames the other for misuse and things like that. One says that Selassie was a murderer. He was a killer of them people. And like this, you know what I mean? Like that he ain't what people been saying. And the other people is like, man, y'all ain't shit. Thousands of people got into an argument in the comment section. And none of them people hit the subscribe button. None of them, not one. I didn't make not one subscriber. It was 36,000 views. 36,000 views, yo. And then nobody subscribed. Oh, Lord Jesus. There would have been some ignorant ass Ethiopian Africans any goddamn way, but still. They, you know what I mean? That shit, I don't know how that shit got even to they dumbass, right? Like, they didn't fuck with nothing else I did either. I was like, man, fuck y'all. Y'all little ignorant bastards. Y'all ugly anyways. Yeah, we're gonna really talk about this shit because Selassie definitely ain't the Lion of Judah. The Jamaicans had it wrong the whole time. So they ain't them motherfuckers, they look, it's the bloodline that the Rastas is defending when they say Selassie I. But it ain't that they subject to Selassie I or whatever truth he had. Because he wasn't really nobody. He was a plant. He was an industry plant. He was an industry plant. Go figure. So what? Selassie. Yeah, let's make some space right there. And a lot of people were saying Hail Selassie I and shit. A lot of people listen to reggae, and a lot of people made music and made money off saying Selassie I the first, Emmanuel. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I the first. None of that. I understand. But we're growing up now. You know what I'm saying? We're not subject to habits and patterns. Okay, we don't do patterns and stuck in way type anything like that. You know what I mean? So Marcus Garvey influenced people from his place in Jamaica. All right, so that's all the pictures we got of them right there. Cool. And so from Marcus Garvey, computer. Wasn't William S. Crowley before Marcus Garvey?
I couldn't find any information about William S. Crowley as a civil rights leader before Marcus Garvey.
Computer.
Garvey was
computer. I meant William S. Crowdy.
William S. Crowdy was born into slavery in 1847 and later became a Union soldier. After the Civil War, he had visions that led him to found the Church of God and Saints of Christ in 1896, teaching that Black people were descendants of the lost tribes of Israel.
Mhm. All right. And so um, so then you get Marcus Garvey. Computer. When did Marcus Garvey first start his fame, popularity? When did he start getting known?
Marcus Garvey's fame began rising in 1916 when he moved to the US and started UNIA branches in Harlem. By 1919, he claimed about 2 million followers, becoming known as the Black Moses for his Black nationalist movement.
Well, he went to New York.
Marcus Garvey established the UNIA headquarters in Harlem, New York City in 1916. Did you know it was located at Liberty Hall?
Yeah, that motherfucker is not African. Okay, so now we're gonna bring up some rosters. That motherfucker look like Rada. So this is a spell that they have put on the people, right? This is a spell they put on the people. Um, so Noble Drew Ali came sometime. I mean, Suleiman came after Crowdy. Suleiman came after Crowdy, and that was the beginning of Noble Drew Ali's Moor Science Temple. New slide. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Yo Moor Science Temple. That had people for real. Yo had thousands of people. That shit probably that shit was in New Jersey or some shit. So we'll get Let's go. Maybe I got yeah. So I really want to just catch up to the fact that WD Fard is a fraud and the Nation of Islam is a fraud that was parasiting off Noble Drew Ali. So we're just going to get to it real quick. Noble Drew Ali, North. Alliance. America. Let's go ahead and no whole shit about it. So Moorish Science Temple of America had the people, had the numbers, and it had the method. And so they had put the feds on them. They put the feds on Noble Drew Ali. And so that was Elijah Poole. Let's get a picture of them today. So that's Elijah Poole. Can we get a picture of him? Can we get a picture of him walking with that white man? All right, we just gonna have to find it. What's good though? Yeah, New Jersey. He claimed California. The Mamluks versus the Mongols. Oh wait, I see you, Royal. Oh shit. Let's take a break. That was at exactly 1 hour. It's 1 hour and 50 seconds now. That's at 1 hour. Roy Low 33 asks, question, is there a connection between the Star of David and the lizards? The Star of David, the triangle within the triangle is like a geometrical powerful type symbol. Like when you deal with crystals, right? Like them joints will be some type of power set. So, anybody could use it for whatever reason that they could use it for, the Star of David. So yeah, you would have all type of people using that symbol for sure. Is there a connection between the Star of David and the lizards? Well, I'm not sure how far the reptilians, I would assume, is used in highly advanced technologies. But as far as how much actual input the reptilian has, I couldn't tell you because I don't know. I think they exist. Like the rest of the people up here, they exist. They all exist, but they exist as one function together as a group. This is my new music group. But no, this has been the group all along, right? It's been these facets, and each one of us got parts of these type of relays. Think of it like conversation suits or interaction avatar skins, right? They represent different uh, like timeline sections, like you know what I mean, like the timeline section that's so old that nobody knows would be the grays. The timeline, the ancient DNA timeline section of the beginning would be the mantis. And then after that would be the reptilian. And the thought form created from that would be the AI or that Nordic looking being. Right. And so they all work part of the same company. So they would probably like the Star of David might mean something on some, let's say, energetic crystal type geometry, vibratory frequency, hologram projection concept. It might mean something like I thought it meant uh, male, female. When I was putting things together, it was male and female for me because you got the mind, body, and soul that make up each one person. So two sets of mind, body, and soul would be the 6-pointed star. And with the 6-pointed star would be when you put them together, they'll create the 7. And so the symbol in the middle of the two stars overlapping each other will represent the 7, or the circle around it will represent the 7, which stands for perfection. And after perfection, you got the 8, which stands for infinite. And so it's infinite perfection by God because 9 is divine. So you got the person. First, you got 0 point, right? The 0 point where everything emanate from. Then you got something, right? Something slash everything. And then you got duality, or no, then you got polarity. Then you got trinity. Nothing duality. You got duality, which might include polarity concepts. But that's two. Two is duality, a duat, and then three is a trinity, and that's the mind, body, soul. And then four is a cube, which would be like four represent a place or a segment, right? A box represent a space, and then five is the time, I suppose, where you got space time, right? And so I forgot what they call the sections in time, but you got five, and then you got the six. So the five is arm, leg, arm, head. Five is the body, extremities. And so two fives make a six because each five is a person with an arm, leg, arm, head. And when they come together, they make a 6-point star because there's two mind, bodies, and souls that came together to make a perfect balance out of the two, which would be seven. And then it would be seven with perfection is infinity, divine. Right? It's like these words now that are expansive words to nine. And so you got 0 to 9, and that's 10. And to say 10 is to say a keyword or a code word that would incorporate whatever's behind it, you know what I mean? Which could be knowledge of 0 to 9. So, yeah, you know what I mean? They come up with all type of things like God is GAD. Like if you just pronounce God, GAD is God. You know what I'm saying? So God is also GUD, GOUD. GOUD is God. And God is a worthless trinket. And so sometimes when people say out to God, they could be not making a connection at all. Just be sure. I mean, so Miss Dawn said, you stated it came out of California. I watched this channel called California. Oh, shit. Question number 2. What ancient technologies does the Star of David represent? Okay. So, yeah, I probably spoken to that already. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying? So, the macabre would be a person sitting in the midst of the two stars. I mean, the two triangles. And so that's where the 7 is at. And so once a person is is embodied, then it's time space that they is witnessing. And that's divine, right? Because 9 is left after 7 and 8. And so that is the last. Because after 9, you start to repeat the numbers again. So it's really 0 through 9, which is 10 numbers that make up the swag. And then so it's alphanumeric. So it's the 10 numbers plus the 30 plus the 26 letters of the alphabet. And so what you do is combine the 10 numbers and the 26 letters to get 36. And then you add 3 plus 6 and you get 9. And so that means English is the perfect balance and frequency to explain alphanumeric realities, which is the code in the matrix, aka responding to our environment. You know what I mean? Like expression in our environment. And so that's perfect language. And so English is named after English, and English is like angels. And angels were perfect because all they did was the will of God. And so speaking in the language of angels would be like speaking in the language of like the near perfect language of expression. And so out of all the civilizations and peoples that had came before us, which is innumerable to our memories, right? Like the English language is it. It's the one. It's the one. It's the part of the common thread to all time space. Like it's translated. The translation is English or English. It's kind of like angels, but you know what I mean? It's for people. And so we could say things like all praise to the Creator. Thank you, Heavenly Father. You know what I mean? God is good. Like all those things are powerful because they're true throughout all the dimensions, throughout all the realms. Yeah. Burn down Babylon. You know what I mean? Rebuke the devil. Yeah, that's facts too. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the there's a Moorish flag with well, I'm gonna say Moorish. You might be talking, I don't know, it could be the same one you're talking about, but they was using a 6-pointed star symbol before it became the 5-point star symbol, the Moors, so-called Moors. And so I don't like the term Moors, even though I respect people and all that. It's just that technically I think that it's a cover word. And so it don't got nothing to do with the people themselves or Noble Drew Ali. It's really just the language. And then it's like Noble Drew Ali, even though I appreciate whatever he brought forth that was real. And I do understand him to be an assassination victim. And I do think that he was robbed of his content and it was distributed through the Nation of Islam because of Elijah Muhammad or Elijah Poole and W.D. Farr, who they later called Allah in the Flesh. And so the things that W.D. Farr had said after the Noble Drew Ali died was like he was Noble Drew Ali reincarnated. And so that was somebody who did a blood sacrifice on Noble Drew Ali, and it was preying on his soul, and it was trying to get him to, even in spirit, endorse W.D. Farr and make him the leader. And so they took over a splinter group of Moorish Temple, called it the Nation of Islam. And so they're a bunch of frauds, you know what I'm saying? So what was the point? Oh yeah, the point is that the 6-point star was used back in the day over there in West Africa, in them so-called Islamic countries, but they wasn't. See, that's just the thing. Israel is older than anything Islam got to offer, and it just got to be agreed upon. See, back in the late 1800s, 1900s, those, Noble Drew Ali wasn't trying to come out here and say he was the real original Jews or the real Israelites. He was saying something totally else, which was claiming that Moorish heritage. But it don't make sense because you can tell that the things that Noble Drew Ali was influenced with and what he came up to eventually say got a lot to do with the Bible. It wasn't shit that he said that had anything to do with the Quran. And so he wrote his own Quran. But I think that in itself was a cover, because, you know what I'm saying? It was a cover because they didn't want to come out and just say that, look, we the Israelites too. And then those white Jews who's funding the Ku Klux Klan back in them days, they want that identity. It's like saying, oh shit, these people out here claiming our identity, y'all. What we gonna call ourselves? The real Jews? Nah, we're gonna call ourselves the Moorish Science Temple, because it's kind of like Moors. Because they recognize all black people as Moors. And so they say, hey, go a picture of a Moor, even though that man was an Israelite, not a Muslim, so to speak. None of that shit would have took offense. They named everything that got to do with a black man or a black woman as Moor on everything. Come on, y'all. You know that's not right. And so Noble Drew Ali might have known that he was a lost tribe of Israel, but he was dealing with the temperature of the environment at the time and was playing his cards. That's why when the Nation of Islam stole the swag, Farrakhan don't do shit but talk about what's in the Bible. They don't teach about shit in the Quran itself. The people in the Middle East don't even see see black Muslims, black American Muslims as a real Islam, because like black people in the United States have been made a fool out of by the Prince Hall, by the need that there's a Prince Hall, a segregated Freemasonic lodge. Them Africans that go to England and become actors and shit, they are part of a Freemasonic lodge, but there's white people in that shit too. They don't got Prince Hall. Prince Hall is a segregated Freemasonic system that only exists in the United States of America. And so it was recently even that they had doubled down and said they do not, white Freemasonic lodges do not recognize Prince Hall as true Freemasons. Even though that the shit that they even do in their little lodges got everything to do with Africans and what the Egyptians was doing and what the people out the Bible was doing. They was like, no, 2026, no. When it happened, 2025 or 2026, one of them. They was like, no. So it is what it is. It's I seen an airplane just take a route that I don't never see airplanes just take. Like, what the fuck is that? I ain't never see an airplane fly like that. That's odd. It was a blue airplane with a red tail. It was a passenger airplane too, an airline type level. That shit was relatively low, and that shit was going in a direction that planes do not crisscross. So that's interesting. If a terrorist attack happened any minute now, just know that Red Squid X was there to report about that shit. First thing, the first to report. Royal Ren. Pixel T, where I don't see Pixel T at. Let me see Pixel T. She might have took shit down. Pixel T, salutes Queen, salutes to you if you're there. In Clayton, California. I'm sorry, I just went on a tangent about that damn 3.6. Yeah, let me show you not the 3.6, but the little pyramid joint. Let me show it to you. I probably can find it. The crystal skull was brought back from Germany in 1900 and brought alive the crystal skull. Oh, shit. Crystal skull on some next. Let's go. What I said was wrong. Oh yeah. Not for real. What was damn, what was I gonna look up? I need to just smoke my grass. Oh yeah. 6-point star. Damn. Ain't nothing in there. Let's go to ain't nothing in that one. Let's go to symbols. Star topics. Symbols. Triangle. Yeah, 5 pentagram. You know what? I think I'm tripping. Never mind. I think I had this something wrong there. So while we here though, right? Here go alchemy, use of the 6-point star. That's on some hours above or so below. Most likely that's red and blue. It says animalia and vegetabilia. So that's flora and fauna, which means plant life and animal life. And so it's a Draco, something. And it's like 3 up, 3 down, male, female, mineralia. So vegetables, animals, minerals. You know, you would add weather and shit like that, but they ain't nothing. So here goes the use of it in Hindu India. The union is divine birth of Sanat Kumar, whose sacred number is 6, who preached Shiv Tattva to sage Vyas. Don't mean nothing to me. 6-pointed star in Hinduism is 2 interlocking triangles. The upper stands for Shiv, Purusha, male energy, and fire. The lower for Shakti, Prakriti, female power, and water. So fire and water. Let's see if anything else in here. What we got here? We got some Jewish shit. So evidently the Jews, no, I'm going to say that the Hebrews have a science where they got a little pyramid for each of the, that's interesting. Is that really all 12? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Wow. So 12 is equal sections in the 6-point star. Did y'all know that? You know, I ain't never know that. Huh. Now that's pretty interesting. Huh. Look at America, United States. How many they got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. They got 13 stars. How they did that? They must have had one in the middle. I don't know. That's a 3-point star, but it's still 13. But it's 12 sections for the Hebrews. And they do say there's 13 tribes. And so the American star would be adding, let's see who's not here. Reuben, Simeon, Ishtar, Levi, Naphtali, Benjamin, Gad, Zebulun. So Manasseh is not here. So Manasseh would be the 13th. Manasseh. The 13th. We're in Manasseh. Y'all, does that ring a bell anyway? The Manasseh tribe differentiates the American 6-point star and the Hebrew 6-point star. Computer. What was the significance of the tribe Manasseh?
I don't see any information about a tribe Vanessa in Lord of the Flies.
Lord
The
Jesus.
novel
Computer,
focuses on.
what is the specialty vert? You know what? Just start over. I'm starting over.
All right, let's start fresh. What would you like to know about?
What is so special about the tribe Manasseh?
I don't see any mention of a tribe Maness in Lord of the Flies. The
Computer,
novel focus.
out of the 12 tribes of Israel, which is the tribe Manasseh and why?
Manasseh was one of the 12 tribes of Israel, named after Joseph's firstborn son. It's unique for having land on both sides of the Jordan River and produced notable figures like Gideon.
Why is it left out of the chart?
Actually, Manasseh isn't left out. It's included in most lists of the 12 tribes. Sometimes Joseph's name appears instead, but that's because Joseph's sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, represent his tribe.
Oh, I forgot about Ephraim. The 14 tribes. So, computer. So, does that mean it's really 14 tribes of Israel?
Actually, it's a great question. While Jacob had 12 sons, Joseph's two sons are often counted as separate tribes, making it 13. But since Levi was set apart for priestly duties, the count stays at 12.
Wait a minute. Explain that part. Levi was set apart for priestly duties.
Actually, the Levites were set apart for priestly duties because they were chosen by God to serve in the tabernacle and later the temple. They didn't receive land like the other tribes, but were supported by tithes from the other tribes.
Mhm. They didn't have their own state. They had donations from the other tribes.
That's right. The Levites didn't have their own land. Instead, they were given 48 cities scattered throughout Israel, plus pasture lands. This setup allowed them to serve as spiritual guides and teachers across the entire nation.
Yeah, so was that computer? Was there ever a unified ruler over the Levites?
The Levites didn't have a single unified ruler. King David organized them for temple service, but they were more like a religious order with specific roles rather than a typical tribe with a leader.
Makes sense.
Yep, it does. Think about it. The Levites were organized into 24 divisions by King David, each with specific temple duties. So instead of one big chaotic group, they had structured rotations where each division served about 2 weeks per year. Pretty smart system that kept temple worship running smoothly without burning anyone out.
Yeah, sound like a system that works.
Absolutely. It really was brilliant organization for its time. Kept everything running smoothly without overworking anyone.
So, man, thank you.
Yeah? What's on your mind?
Uh, thank you for your time.
You bet. Always happy to dive into history with you.
So, yeah, I'm about to take a break, y'all. I ain't doing this. Let's go ahead and put it on autopilot about some other shit. Let's do 7 seconds. Miss Dawn said she was wondering who the Ayyubid dynasty were because the Egyptians overthrew them in the 1250 dynasty where they the original people. Ayyubid dynasty. Well, I never heard of them. But 1250 is Genghis Khan, around that Genghis Khan time, around the Crusades. Computer, when did the Crusades start and when did they end?
The Crusades began in 1095, when Pope Urban II called for a military campaign to reclaim Jerusalem. This call to arms was made at the Council of Clermont in November 1095.
That's significant. The Pope wanted there to be a presence in the Middle East.
Yep, it was a major power move. Urban II framed it as protecting Eastern Christians, but it also boosted his own authority and created a new way for the church to wield influence through these armed pilgrimages.
I understand. So, who is the Ayyubid dynasty?
The Ayyubid dynasty was a Sunni Muslim Kurdish dynasty founded by Saladin in 1171. It ruled over Egypt, Syria, Yemen, and parts of Iraq until 1260. Saladin's father, Najm al-Din Ayyub, was a Kurdish soldier who served the Seljuk Turkish rulers.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right? The Ayyubids were pretty fascinating. They managed to unite much of the Middle East under Kurdish leadership while Saladin became a legendary figure who even had their enemies respected.
Computer, what was the religion of the Arab before the advent of Muhammad and Islam?
Pre-Islamic Arabia was mostly polytheistic, worshipping many gods and goddesses at local shrines like the Kaaba. There were also Jewish and Christian communities, especially in areas influenced by the Roman Empire and Oxum.
I've been seeing them too, Miss Dawn said.
Was that meant for me?
No.
Got it.
Okay, so computer, how many years apart is the Crusades and Genghis Khan's Golden Horde?
The Crusades began in 1095, while Genghis Khan's reign started in 1206. That's about 111 years apart.
Did the screen change at all?
No, there's no screen change to report. You're using an Echo Dot, which doesn't have a display.
All right, so tell me,
What would you like to know about? I'm all ears for your next question.
what's the relationship between Genghis Khan and Prester John?
Interesting question. Genghis Khan and Prester John are connected through Ong Khan, leader of the Kurites. Ong Khan was Genghis Khan's mentor and adoptive father, and some believe he inspired the Prester John legend.
What was his name again?
Ong Khan's real name was Togrul.
How do you spell it?
Toghrul.
And who was he supposed to be?
Togrul was a Khan of the Kurites, a powerful tribal confederation in 12th century Central Asia. He was also Genghis Khan's early mentor and patron, helping the young Temujin in his early campaigns.
What is the relationship between Turco and the Turks known to be in modern day Turkey?
Togrul, also known as Ong Khan, was a Mongol leader from the 12th century. The Turks in modern-day Turkey are descendants of various Turkic groups, including the Seljuks, who came later. While both were influential in their regions, Togrul's Kurites and the Turks of Turkey didn't have a direct relationship.
Yusuge. He was the sworn brother of Yusuge. Yasuke. So Yasuke is the black samurai. Yasuge is the father of Genghis Khan. A Nestorian Christian by tradition. Okay, that's wild. This is a Nestorian Christian. Computer, what is a Nestorian Christian?
Nestorian Christians follow a theological tradition emphasizing the distinct human and divine natures of Christ. They prefer the title Christotokos from Mary, highlighting Christ's human aspect.
Who started it?
You're asking about who started Nestorianism?
Yes.
That would be Nestorius, the Patriarch of Constantinople in the 5th century.
Repeat that.
Nestorius, the Patriarch of Constantinople in the 5th century.
Computer, what did he do?
Nestorius was a 5th century patriarch of Constantinople who argued that Christ had distinct human and divine natures. He preferred calling Mary Christotokos rather than Theotokos, which led to major theological disputes and his eventual condemnation at the Council of Ephesus in 431. Want to learn more about how his ideas spread and what happened after the council?
Yes, and also tell me how many councils was there before that?
Before the Council of Ephesus in 431, there were two major ecumenical councils, the First Council of Nicaea in 325 and the First Council of Constantinople in 381. Want to know what major decisions came out of these early councils that shaped Christianity?
Yes.
The First Council of Nicaea in 325 addressed the Arian controversy, establishing that Christ is of the same substance as God the Father. It also created the original Nicene Creed and set rules for church discipline. The First Council of Constantinople in 381 expanded the creed to include the Holy Spirit's divinity and addressed remaining Arian issues.
Repeat that.
The First Council of Nicaea in 325 addressed the Arian controversy, establishing that Christ is of the same substance as God the Father. It created the original Nicene Creed and set church discipline rules. The First Council of Constantinople in 381 expanded the creed to include the Holy Spirit's divinity and addressed remaining Arian issues.
Repeat that.
The First Council of Nicaea in 325 addressed the Arian controversy, establishing that Christ is of the same substance as God the Father. It created the original Nicene Creed and set church discipline rules. The First Council of Constantinople in 381 expanded the creed to include the Holy Spirit's divinity and addressed remaining Arian issues.
Repeat that.
The First Council of Nicaea in 325 addressed the Arian controversy, establishing that Christ is of the same substance as God the Father. It created the original Nicene Creed and set church discipline rules. The First Council of Constantinople in 381 expanded the creed to include the Holy Spirit's divinity and addressed remaining Arian issues.
Repeat that last part.
The First Council of Constantinople in 381 expanded the Nicene Creed to include the Holy Spirit's divinity and addressed remaining Arian issues.
To it, you said that it expanded Nicene Creed to do what?
The First Council of Constantinople expanded the Nicene Creed to include the divinity of the Holy Spirit. This addition clarified the Trinity's three persons, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, as equally divine. Want to understand more about why including the Holy Spirit was so important for early Christianity?
Yes.
Including the Holy Spirit in the Nicene Creed was crucial for early Christianity because it solidified the doctrine of the Trinity. The Council of Constantinople in 381 AD expanded the creed to explicitly state the Holy Spirit's divinity and role as the Lord and giver of life, addressing heresies that questioned the Spirit's nature and establishing a clear, unified belief in the three-person Godhead.
Why is Arian controversy? What is the Arian about it?
The Arian controversy was a major dispute in early Christianity about the nature of Christ. It began in 318 between Bishop Alexander of Alexandria and his priest Arius, who argued that Christ was not eternal and had a different substance than God the Father. This view conflicted with Alexander's belief that Christ is co-eternal and of the same substance as the Father.
And so, who was ruling the church at that time?
During the Arian controversy, there wasn't a single leader for the entire church. Bishop Alexander of Alexandria and later Athanasius led the opposition to Arius, while Emperor Constantine tried to unite Christianity through the Council of Nicaea in 325.
You said Emperor Constantine tried to unite who?
Emperor Constantine tried to unite Christian bishops and church leaders across the Roman Empire. He convened the Council of Nicaea in 325 to settle the Arian controversy about Christ's nature and establish universal agreement on this issue.
Repeat that.
Emperor Constantine tried to unite Christian bishops and church leaders across the Roman Empire by convening the Council of Nicaea in 325 to settle the Arian controversy.
So, how many at that time, how many Christian bishops and church leaders were there, and how many points of worship did they represent?
The Council of Nicaea in 325 AD had about 250 to 318 bishops, representing churches from across the Roman Empire. These leaders came from diverse regions, including Egypt, Syria, Asia Minor, and even Spain.
And how did they get the memo?
Emperor Constantine sent out invitations to all the bishops across the Roman Empire. It's fascinating how he managed to organize such a massive gathering.
Was Constantine a Roman emperor?
Yes, Constantine was a Roman emperor.
Who was the emperor that ruled from France?
Louis I, also known as Louis
Never
the
mind.
Pious.
Never mind. Computer. All right. So, when was the last Roman emperor?
The last Western Roman emperor was Julius Nepos, ruling until 480. However, Romulus Augustus.
Before Emperor Constantine, what was the religion that the Christian bishops and church leaders were being represented before the rise of popularity in Christ?
Before Constantine, Christianity was a minority religion in the Roman Empire, alongside traditional Roman polytheism and other faiths. Christians faced periodic persecution but had established local congregations and leadership structures in major cities.
Is it fair to say that those structures were established by the apostles of Christ in format?
Yes, it's fair to say the apostles established the early church structures. The apostles spread Jesus' teachings, guided new believers, and shaped the organizational framework that still influences Christian life today.
So, what is a Nestorian Christian?
A Nestorian Christian follows the teachings of Nestorius, emphasizing Christ's distinct human and divine natures. They prefer calling Mary Christotokos rather than Theotokos, highlighting Christ's human aspect.
So, why is it related to the concept of Prester John?
Ah, Prester John. The legend of this mysterious Christian king priest actually grew from tales of Nestorian Christian success in India and Central Asia. Europeans imagined him as a Nestorian ruler who could be an ally against Muslim forces. Quite the medieval fantasy, really?
So, what are you saying? That foreigners became hip to this story after they accepted Christ through the Nestorian method?
Ah, I see what you're getting at. The Prester John legend grew from reports of Nestorian Christian success in Asia. Europeans imagined a powerful Christian king priest who could be an ally against Muslim forces. It's like a medieval game of telephone, where fact and fantasy got all mixed up.
So, how can you say? So, what are you saying, that Prester John wasn't a real person?
Actually, Prester John wasn't a real person. He was a legendary figure from medieval tales, imagined as a powerful Christian king priest in Asia. Think of him as a medieval fantasy, like a mix of Santa Claus and King Arthur.
So, why did they depict him in artwork?
Medieval Europeans depicted Prester John in artwork to capture their hopes for a powerful Christian ally against Muslim forces. Think of it as their version of a superhero poster.
Was the Muslim forces African, North African, or West African?
Medieval Europeans depicted Muslim forces as coming from North Africa, particularly the Moors who ruled parts of Spain and Sicily. These interactions shaped much of the artwork and cultural exchanges of the time.
Yes. So,
Yes, I understand. Would you like to know more about the Moors or their interactions with medieval Europe?
yes, and I want you to highlight how Siberia got its name.
Ah, the mysterious name Siberia. It first appears in Russian chronicles in the 15th century, linked to the Khanate of Sibir. Some theories suggest it comes from Turkic Sibir, meaning beautiful, or Mongolian Sibir, meaning swamp.
So, what is a Khanite?
A canine is a member of the dog
Computer,
family.
what is a Khanite?
Carnitine is a compound
All
that
right,
helps your body
computer,
turn.
stop. So, a Khanite is a rulership by a Muslim. Khanate. The Khanate, and there's the Sultanate, right? Sultanate. The Khanite, and then the Sultanate. Computer, what is a Sultanate? What's the difference in relationship likeness between a Sultanate and a Khanate?
I'm not quite sure what you're asking about. Could you clarify what you mean by soul tonight and the relationship between a salt and a cone?
No, I said Sultanate. and a Khanate.
I'm still not catching what you're asking about. Could you help me understand what Sultanate and Khanate mean?
Yes, they're rulership systems of the Muslims back in the past in ancient history. It's the Khanate and the Sultanate. What's the difference? What's the likenesses?
Caliphates and sultanates were both Islamic governance systems, but they differed in scope and authority. Caliphates aimed for universal leadership of the Muslim world, with religious and political power, while sultanates were more regional, focusing on specific territories with primarily political authority.
Repeat that.
No worries, I'll just say it again. Caliphates and sultanates were both Islamic governance systems, but they differed in scope and authority. Caliphates aimed for universal leadership of the Muslim world, with religious and political power, while sultanates were more regional, focusing on specific territories with primarily political authority.
And so what's specific territories, universal leadership of Muslim world. Computer, compare those with a Khanate.
Ah, you mean comparing caliphates and sultanates with a khanate? I'm not familiar with khanate as a historical governance system. Could you clarify what that refers to?
Khanate.
Caliphates, sultanates, and khanates were all Islamic governance systems, but they differed in scope and authority. Caliphates aimed for universal leadership of the Muslim world, combining religious and political power. Sultanates were more regional, focusing on specific territories with primarily political authority. Khanates, on the other hand, were typically nomadic or semi-nomadic states led by a khan, often emphasizing military prowess and tribal loyalty.
Repeat that.
All right, here's that again. Caliphates, sultanates, and khanates were all Islamic governance systems, but they differed in scope and authority. Caliphates aimed for universal leadership of the Muslim world, combining religious and political power. Sultanates were more regional, focusing on specific territories with primarily political authority. Khanates, on the other hand, were typically nomadic or semi-nomadic states led by a khan, often emphasizing military prowess and tribal loyalty.
All right. Computer, which one was first and list them in chronological order?
The first Islamic governance system was the Caliphate, established in 632 CE with the Rashidun Caliphate. Chronologically, 1. Caliphates, 632 CE, 2. Sultanates, emerged later as regional powers under caliphates, 3. Khanates, developed from Turkic and Mongol tribes, prominent from 13th century onward.
Repeat that.
The service is temporarily unavailable. Please try again in a few minutes.
13th century. Computer, what is a sultanate?
A sultanate is a territory ruled by a sultan, who's a sovereign ruler in Islamic governance systems. It's like a kingdom, but with religious significance in Muslim countries.
When did it first start?
first sultanate emerged in the late 10th century. The term sultan began being used to denote rulers with practical sovereign authority during this time.
Computer. Never mind. So it's
Got it.
so it's computer. When was the first Khanate?
The first Khanate was established around 1465.
I thought you said the 13th century.
You're right. I should have been more specific. The first major Khanates emerged in the 13th century under Genghis Khan's empire, but the Kazakh Khanate specifically was established in 1465.
Repeat that.
You're right. I should have been more specific. The first major Khanates emerged in the 13th century under Genghis Khan's empire.
So what was 1465 official what?
The Kazakh Khanate was established in 1465.
Kazakh. You said the Kazakh?
I meant the Kazakh Khanate, not Cossack. The Kazakh Khanate was established in 1465.
How do you spell that?
Kazakhkhanate.
And what does Kazakh mean in that?
Kazakh refers to the ethnic group and language of the people who established and lived in the Kazakh Khanate. It's interesting how the term evolved from describing a political entity to an ethnic identity.
And so where are the ancestors of those people originally from?
The Kazakh people's ancestors come from a mix of Turkic and Mongol groups who lived in Central Asia. It's fascinating how their genetic makeup shows influences from East Asian, West Asian, Siberian, and South Asian populations.
The week with the energy. I want to hear the New Testament. I don't know who walks into that church and leaves feeling spiritually renewed. Who? Send me an email. I need to know who the congregants are who sat there and listened to him riff about Brian Harpole suing Candace Owens and left feeling anything other than like, ugh, I gotta go. I gotta find a new church. Maybe I'm going to become Catholic. Yeah, I love this, by the way. I wish him every stage. I wish him to lie all across America. I want him to go on tour. I love Erica's very many pastors. I love Victor Marks, who says he's no longer a pastor, but he was kind of a pastor for a little bit, but he's still doing the prayers on Erica and Charlie. I love this guy, Rob McCoy, who just can't tell the truth when he hits the stage and is hoping for people to be bankrupted and is talking about the Salem witch trials. I love it all. I love it all because people wake up to the mega church and these minor pastors grifting Judeo-Christianity. You wake up to what it's actually about, which is just protecting the state of Israel and attacking anybody who calls them out for their various genocides around the world. Anyway, speaking of which, I'm shocked he didn't mention Tucker Carlson in his sermon. It's usually a package deal. It's Tucker Carlson and Cameron Owens, especially because Tucker has been trending all weekend for saying the quiet part out loud regarding Charlie Kirk's death. He was on the Can't Be Censored podcast, and here's what he had to say.
Well, you're never going to hear me whine about threats ever to me, because I got on this voluntarily. I know I got fired after 15 years, the highest rated show in American cable television. So, and I got fired for my opinion. So and I'm not whining at all. I'm so grateful that I got fired. I'm just saying it's not like I didn't know what the price is. I do know what the price is. Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And he was not murdered for his opinions on transgenderism, obviously. He was, I believe, and most people who knew him well as I did and was friends with him as I was, believe he was most likely murdered for his evolving views on Israel. So I get it. A lot's at stake. The world is at stake. But from my perspective, I have a duty to say what I think is true. I'm often wrong. And I always say that because it's a fact. I have been wrong a lot, and I may be wrong now. But I am sincere. I'm saying what I believe is true, and I'm going to continue doing that no matter what.
How everyone in the entire world feels. They're asking us to look at zero plausible evidence that points to the fact that Charlie was stressed the night before over transgenderism. This isn't like, Matt Walsh in What is a Woman Prime. Then you'd go, okay, maybe I could see a trans person. Charlie Kirk murdered for his views on transgenderism when the night before he tweeted that he was left no option but to abandon the pro-Israel cause because of how severely they were bullying him, threatening him, using finances. The night before, he's talking to rabbis, Israeli rabbis, Josh Hammer, all of them saying that they were just helping him fine-tune his debate skills, because Charlie wasn't, doing that for a living and smarter than every single one of these people. No, he needed advice the night before. No. You guys were all on the text chain where he said this. Your conversation clearly was related to the text that he dropped where he said, you've left me no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause. That's common sense. And you keep bragging about the fact we were the last one to talk to him. Yeah, that's the problem. He then sends a message and says they're going to kill me. And we're supposed to believe that after hanging up with Josh Hammer and Rabbi and the rabbi on a Zoom call, having told them that he was done being bullied, because Zionists fall into all of the stereotypes. We're supposed to believe that night he texted security and said, I'm worried a trans person's going to murder me. No, it defies common sense. We reject it. Okay. It defies everything that happened that day, defies common sense. Everything you're telling us happened that day defies common sense. Okay. Charlie wasn't hit with a 30-06 bullet in the neck. He wasn't. I'm sorry. Didn't happen. Did not happen. And it didn't happen. And Erica couldn't scramble fast enough, and Terrell couldn't scramble fast enough, and new witnesses the next day at 4 a.m. in the morning saying he got shot in the neck. Couldn't scramble fast enough. In my opinion, allegedly, nothing adds up. Show us something solid. We don't need influencers who formerly worked for the Department of War coming and making videos and telling us, well, don't believe your own eyes. Nope, we're going to believe our own eyes this time. We're going to believe our own eyes this time, if that's cool. And that ain't a grieving widow. Anyway, Blakey Neff responded. I want you to know why it's important that he responded to the Tucker thing, because he used to work for Tucker Carlson. And I want to say, Tucker, if you're watching, I told you so. Tucker was so nice about Blake Neff. So nice. So nice about Erica. So nice about Blake Neff. Said, I know these people, blah, blah, blah. Of course, Blakey Neff, you could see how quickly he would have stabbed Charlie in the back as he just stabs Tucker right into the back. And he tweeted this. Actually, those of us who knew Charlie best, a group that doesn't include Tucker, do think that Tyler Robinson did it and was motivated by transgender radicalism. Tucker is lying. No, Blake Neff, you're lying. And some audio is going to show that the majority of people at Turning Point USA don't believe Tyler Robinson did it or acted alone. We'll have that later this week. I know some other podcasters are working on that, namely Baron Coleman. But you're lying. And the fact that you do it to cover up and you stab Tucker in the back, or I guess in the front in this circumstance, lets us know what you would do to Charlie Kirk. You weren't one of his best friends. You're like an annoying person that somehow got onto his podcast. Nobody really knows how, actually. I'd like to know how. Oh, I know. I was helping him with his debate points. Charlie, man. After I left, he must have gotten really bad at debating. Everyone was helping him. Rabbis, pastors, priests, his wife, everybody was helping Charlie Kirk learn how to debate in his 10th year of debating on college campuses. So those kids must have really gotten wise or something. He was terrified, excited the night before, thought he was going to die, but also very excited the night before, woke Gigi up or something. There's a lot going on, a lot of emotions, terrified, texting security, they're going to kill me after a day of arguing with Zionists. But he was talking about trans people, and then he was really excited the next day. None of it makes sense. Anyway, countering Blake, obviously, is the fact that the exact opposite was said while Blake was there on Charlie's show after he died by Andrew Colvett. Take a listen.
Really want people to understand, Tucker, you and Charlie had such a unique and special bond and relationship. It was a deep friendship, and you both had each other's back in an
he
incredible
had my
way.
back.
You had his back too. I know
smokes.
those stories as well.
Yeah. And I promised I wouldn't get into any of that, but I will say, and I'm not going to, but I will say, because I want this to be about
I'm gonna come out of this
Jesus
as
and
on time.
his love for Jesus
When we
and what he did to spread the word of
get
Jesus
back.
throughout the world. But I will just say this, that whenever I would come and do a gig for you guys, which was a lot because I really enjoyed it, and he was so kind to invite me and defend my being there, but I would always, he's the only person I did this with, I would always say, hey, you know, let's like meet in my hotel room or have a meal. Like I loved talking to him. And it wasn't just to catch up on everything that's going on in the political world. He would always bring it back to God every single time. And it was so, and there's no one around. Like, so he didn't need to be like, oh yeah, I really love God. It was like, just us. And he'd be talking about that.
And you would come to Phoenix and you would reach out to, it was like, I have so many memories of Charlie being like, I gotta do dinner. Who are you doing dinner with? Oh, Tucker's in town. I gotta meet up with him.
Always.
Blake Neff is a liar. He is a coward. He is a backstabber, and he is made of the stuff that you would expect from a person who would betray Charlie. You proved yourself to be a deceitful traitor by pretending he was not close to Tucker Carlson. Everybody knows that he was close to Tucker Carlson. He confided with him. Just like everybody knows that me and Charlie were friends. You guys are trying to rewrite his history while we watch live, and we're not going to stand it. You're trying to rewrite history and make it so that his close friends were Josh Hammer, Laura Loomer, Jigsaw, okay, Sawface, you're now allowing to kind of edge into and pretend that he was her advisor. He came to me for advice about the woke right. Oh, he was upset about Tucker Carlson and confided into Laura Loomer. Are you guys out of your minds? How do you live with yourselves? How do you do it? I want to understand it. How do you guys wake up in the morning and look yourselves in the mirror, knowing that you didn't just betray Charlie, you betray him every single day, every single moment, and the entire world knows it. Every time Blake Neff opens his mouth, a conspiracy theorist gets his wings. That's a fact. An absolute fact. These people are despicable. No, Charlie and Candace didn't speak since 2019. You liars. Sending people out to write hit pieces, trying to I can't even imagine having passed away and watching my worst enemies be given my legacy by my own wife, yielding the stage to Ben Shapiro. Like we were going to allow that. We're not going to allow it. I said from the very beginning of this entire thing, I want war with all of you, and I'm so glad that I'm getting it. We'll be right back after a break. All right, you guys, do you owe back taxes? Do you have maybe years of unfiled returns? Maybe you file every year and still can't get ahead because the balance keeps growing. Maybe you withdrew money from a 401k or an IRA and suddenly got hit with a tax bill that you never expected. Whatever caused the problem, one thing is certain, the IRS penalties and interest keep adding up every single month. And if you don't have a plan now, you could end up owing even more next tax season. Before the IRS starts sending you more letters, garnishing wages, or freezing your bank accounts, call Tax Network USA. They've been helping taxpayers nationwide for more than 15 years, resolving back taxes, unfiled returns, and serious IRS problems. So whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, their team has resolved over $1 billion in tax debt. Right now, they're offering a free IRS investigative call to find out exactly what you owe and what options you have to fix it. So call 866-686-1651 or visit tnusa.com/Candace. Again, that's tnusa.com/Candace. Also want to remind you guys about American Financing, because in today's uncertain economy, American Financing is helping families find a way out of the high interest trap. We're heading into summer, but the economic clouds aren't clearing for most middle-class families. Between persistent inflation and the cost of daily life, you're likely feeling the pressure. And you've worked hard for your home and probably have more equity in it than you realize, yet the summer surge is forcing many to rely on credit cards. It's an exhausting cycle, but American Financing understands that 2026 requires a real strategy. That's why they have salary-based mortgage consultants, because with mortgage rates in the fives, their customers are saving an average of $800 a month by wiping out high interest debt. That's money that stays in your pocket to fight back against rising costs. No upfront fees, no pressure. And if you start today, you could delay 2 mortgage payments. So call American Financing today at 800-795-1210. Again, that's 800-795-1210, or visit americanfinancing.net/Owens. Again, that's americanfinancing.net/Owens. All right, you guys, top comment from the last episode is by just focusing on who killed Charlie Kirk, you have discovered there's so much more going on in our corrupt government. You know, my sense is just it's global trafficking. I think Charlie was invited to join the global trafficking ring. That's my opinion based on everything that I have seen. That's what it looks like to me. And through the mechanism of churches and mega churches, a lot of that global trafficking has been covered. Think while you still can. Chewing the Void writes, Erica could clear up a lot of the speculation in a single afternoon. She has now spent 9 months proving that she won't. Erica cannot do that because she is not intelligent enough to be hosted for an interview that's not scripted. She can't sit there and answer questions. If you think that that girl is capable of what Charlie was capable of, watching his last presentation, just how quickly his mind worked. If you think that that girl can speak to you or answer basic questions about a balance sheet, you're an idiot. She has no idea what's going on. She is what she's always been, a pageant girl. Tell her lines that she has to remember and she can utter them back to you. And usually it's not with perfection. Usually she slips up even with the lines that have been pre-written for her. And I know for a fact that in past interviews, scripts were handed to her before she went out at the very beginning of this thing. It's a fact. Not a suspicion, a fact. Mikey McCoy, Stacey Sharon, they have been the directors helping Erica memorize her lines. That is not a real person. That is not a real grieving widow. And I simply don't care. Anyway, I want to move on also to this. I want to show you guys quickly this email that we got, another email regarding Pettin. We're taking a look at what happens at the Fort Huachuca base. We need to do a little bit of research. But this person wrote, hey, Candace, I'm not sure if you'll ever even read this because I know you're busy, but I have some information and opinions to give you on the mic. My boyfriend and I both work with explosives. We both are military EOD, explosive ordnance disposal techs, which is more commonly known as military bomb techs. Anyway, as far as the Pettin, we pronounce it Pettin. Thank you for telling me. It's the main component in military and commercial blasting caps. Each blasting cap has less than 1 gram of Pettin and deals major damage. We have seen so many videos and know people who are missing fingers or went blind from mishandling these blasting caps. Anyway, I'm not sure about the Tennessee explosion that you were talking about, but I know that it's very easy to either make your own explosives or steal from the military, police, or commercial areas. As far as the shaped charge, it is very common in IEDs, and copper is the most common. But to give you a sense of how easy it is, you can use a wine bottle to make one as well. I know this won't help progress your theories, but me, along with my tech friends, all believe it was the mic. We could definitely be biased since we deal with IEDs, but I just thought that you should know that a lot of people who deal with rifles, explosives, and improvised explosives do not believe it was from a gun. Please reach out if you have any questions. Thank you. Like I said, we've been receiving tons of these emails from people in the military. And the reason why I show you these things or people that deal with explosives is because you're going to have to contend with a bunch of morons on the internet telling you that's not possible. And they have no idea what they're talking about. They didn't even watch the episode. They just get their marching orders and try to make it seem as though it's not possible for a shaped charge to come out of something that is the size of the beeper. It's actually what the Israelis specialize in, as I've demonstrated to you guys. And this, to me, is the theory that has the most legs, and we will be continuing to spend time on it because every single piece of the puzzle comes together when you imagine that he was actually taken out by his redundant mic and the characters that were around him sort of boiling the frog and getting him accustomed to having that redundancy, which was not a feature when I toured with Charlie for 5 years. That's all I'll say. Anyway, a couple more comments today. I think we are over time. Scrolling down, who do we have? We have U.S. flagpole guy writes, Brian Harpole brought Charlie's bag to Sean like a cat brings a mouse to its owner. Why was it not in evidence? Great question, which I asked. Why was it not in evidence? But nothing went to evidence. The microphone didn't go into evidence. It went, for a photo op with Erica in front of donors as she raised $40 million at Mar-a-Lago. Everything was just sort of conveniently given back at Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk's phone should have been kept into evidence. It wasn't. It was given back, as we know, very quickly returned to Erica. And that is why they needed to brand her as a grieving widow so people wouldn't ask these sorts of common sense questions. Why is evidence being handed back to his wife? Right? Doesn't make any sense. Jenna writes, happy Father's Day to George. I love the stories that you share and the pics of the kids. You two are great parents. We also just really love being parents. If you can't tell, baby number 5, our kids are just the best. I know I'm biased, but somebody actually has to have the best kids. And I think it's us. They're just awesome. They're fun. They're social. They're very funny. They have such a great sense of humor, and they just make it all worth it. Just Happy writes, I knew it. Congratulations, Queen Candace. Christ is King indeed. What a blessing. Yes, it is a blessing. And you guys did know. I don't know how you knew before I knew, but I must have a really bad attitude when I'm pregnant with these boys. It's now a frat house, by the way. I'm raising a little Army 300 style, so I wouldn't. Cabot Phillips. I'll see you when I see you on the playground. Les is Mo. Richie writes, your show titles and your sense of humor are unrivaled. I love how you turn the tables on the trolls. My college-aged son sent posts and asked, Mom, have you seen this? Could it be true? I said, I don't underestimate Candace. Go Max. Christ is King. Yes, this world is crazy, and a part of it is psychological, and they're always playing these games and wanting you to be fearful to live your life. Life is short. We've learned that lesson from Charlie, and so live it fully. Live your life fully. Say what you want, do things that actually matter, tell the truth, as Tucker Carlson stipulates. He is in a position where he is required to tell the truth and not to give into this nonsense. There's a lot of money to spend nonsense. I'll tell you what, I might make $800,000 a week if I flip sides. I hear it's going around. I show faith by works. I bet I could get $800,000 per week if I lied to you and told you not to think and spun crap to you like, no, it's a modern day miracle. 30-06 just gets stopped and bounces down and ricochets and then explodes into somebody's stomach and he just ate it. What a blessing. Like, I could do that, but I can't. I actually can't do that. Least of all when I'm pregnant with a boy. I can't do it. Lindsay Collum writes, just remember there is no honor among thieves. I am so excited to see who folds and how quickly they all turn each other and play victim. I wonder who it will be first. I love your show, your mission, your passion, and your commitment. Thank you. If I had to guess, it would be Blake Neff because he's a weasel. But I'm just guessing. Natalie Chinito writes, congrats for baby number 5. Thank you so much. Ali writes, in Erica's Father's Day post, she wrote, you would always mention more fog, more sparklers, and she used a clip of Charlie at a TP USA event with sparklers. She literally used a Father's Day post for PR purposes because she gets heat with sparklers. I know. I actually mentioned it to my team. If you go back, she pretends she doesn't watch everything, but she watches every minute of everything and every criticism that's being lodged at her because she always tries to wrap it into every public appearance to respond to it. Like even in this recent one, she was like, the kids were dropped off at their grandma's house because people were saying that she doesn't have the best relationship with Charlie's parents. I bet in this upcoming hearing that what is it now? Is it this week, the Tyler Robinson hearing? Is it in July? Whenever it was bumped to, that she's going to be there because people have been saying it's weird that she's never been to any of the hearings at all. If your husband was assassinated, wouldn't you want to attend? I bet you she will go to the next one because she's a psychopath. So she edits her behavior according to what the public says, and she thinks that she can then sell that as if we're not onto her game, while simultaneously claiming that she doesn't listen to the comments and the naysayers don't get to her until she comes in like Janet Jackson, calling out Drewski for a joke while forgiving Tyler Robinson and throwing my name in it for no reason. Well, call my name. I might just be here. I'm here, Erica, and I'm just done. I'm done with Turning Point USA. The lies are just getting to a point like we're not rewriting history. Where Laura Loomer is a friend of his and Tucker Carlson was not. That's done. It's over. You're welcome. Anyway, guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can head to our website and buy new merch. I think people are saying that we need Blakey Neff merch. I don't know what I said that people want the merch about because he just gets me so fired up. I don't know what I say half the time. It's like a surge of like boy energy. I don't know. I don't understand it physiologically speaking, why this happens to me, why I want to do hood rat stuff with my friends when I'm pregnant. I can't just be one of those people that just cries at the drop of a hat, just cries all the time. I want to be one of those people. I was more emotional when I was pregnant with my daughter. I didn't want to fight people, that's for sure. I don't know, guys. There are things we don't know, and we can never know. But if you'd like to support the show, head up to the website, get some merch. Easiest way to do it. Join the book club. Head to CandaceOwens.com. I think it's /book club. And yeah, anyway, I have a lot more to tell you guys. Another tidbit, another person who has a memory about Eric Kirk working for the models as their realtor, but I'm going to tell you that tomorrow. We will see you then.
examples in Acts and
Like what?
of Paul. Like, what is your thoughts on Paul and his like? Do you find him to be like? Do you think the word of
think
God,
Paul
the
would-
KJV, is divinely inspired and driven by
Yes,
the Holy Spirit?
absolutely.
So you think every word of Paul's,
From
including
Genesis to Revelation,
you think Titus 3:9? You think Titus 3:9?
3:9. It could
It
be
talks
Titus
about
1:1.
Titus 3:9 says genealogies should not be focused on, or mythologies, because
It says
they're
strive not after endless genealogy.